Since its premiere in December, Beauty and the Bike has clocked up more than 40,000 YouTube hits, won a European award and been screened in Europe and America. But how has the film, which follows a group of young females trying to overcome barriers to travelling by bike in UK cycling demonstration town Darlington, affected cycling culture in the town? The film's directors asked me, Lauren Pyrah, to come behind the camera and take a look at what has changed since the project ended.
I wasn't as cool on a bike, I'd say, and I was more just like school uniform on my way to school. I don't think I did cycling any favours, but now at the end of the project, I just wear like my normal casual clothes, and being at college I can do that every day. So I'd say that, and I'm much more aware of cars, I'd say, as I was before, probably because of my different style bike, and because drivers seem to panic more when they see this like new style bike to when they see just a mountain bike, and they're just like, oh, they'll know what to do. But when I'm on this bright red Dutch bike, they seem to panic a little bit more, so I'm much more aware of that.
It's just fun, and being able to like be independent and get somewhere fast, so you don't have to pay anything for it, or wait for a bus or ask for a lift or anything like that.
I've always taken her to school. She used to work, well, I used to work at the same school that Francesca went to, and then when she came to QE, it was just a natural progression. I just continued the journey, tweaked it a little bit to come to QE, and then saw all these girlies on the bikes, and I thought, this is where we need to go to.
I really liked the bikes and how they looked, especially the red colour, so I kind of got involved, and since I got my bike, I cycle nearly every day, and it was quite fun, to be honest, yeah.
And has that changed now? Are you still cycling?
Unfortunately, no, I don't cycle anymore, simply because in college I've got so much work to do, I don't have time to exactly cycle to college like I used to do, so no, I don't cycle anymore.
I find it's much quicker. By the time that I've, got out the door and started walking somewhere, I can literally be halfway there already on a bike. I'm cycling every day. I go to college, I go to dance classes, I go to the shops, I go everywhere on it.
I live in Firthmore. It's really strict, people care about what you do and what you don't do. And obviously coming out with a red big bike, girly bike, they was thinking, what are you doing, I was at the shop near my house, and some chavs threatened to steal my bike because I told them it was quite expensive, and they thought, oh, that's not cool, so they tried to break the lock key. I think it's a shame for some of them to have stopped, and I understand that there's certain situations where it's just really difficult for some people, but I feel like myself and all the other girls that are cycling, we can be a support system for them as well. Most of the girls live in places less rough, to be honest, and they kind of got used to the whole posh thing, bikes, so their support was really important to me, Then I know that I've got someone, supporting me and telling me it's okay to be doing this. With going up to college, there's a lot of peer pressure and stuff like that there, and I think that's influenced quite a few of the girls, where it hasn't influenced me quite so much. The whole coolness of it sort of has pushed them down, they've not felt as confident as maybe they were when we were all as a group.
I thought at first, especially coming to college and things like that loads of people would be like, you weirdo, why are you on a bike? And I've talked to my friends and showed them a picture of my bike, and they're like, oh wow, that's really cool. And it's you don't expect people to have that reaction, and a lot of people surprise you with that.
I think the barrier to cycling perhaps exists in the girls' heads. They may think it's not cool, but it actually is.
I haven't managed to quite persuade anyone yet to get one, because they're all too conscious about what they look like, I think, still.
When you look at them, they look absolutely amazing. They have freedom. I see the buzz on my daughter's face. She just loves it. It's like a new fashion trend. If we keep pushing it, and people will see that it is beautiful, and I think, you can wear what you want. You don't have to
be in your lycra to get on a bike.
At the end of the day, it's not really about what everyone else thinks. It's like, you know, it's up to you what you do. And, you know, obviously not very nice people if they're going to diss you because you're on a bike.
I'd definitely like to see an improved infrastructure. If councils and even just like projects like us can just get into schools and, you know, maybe change the mindset a little bit of children, it will definitely improve numbers. And then the improvement in numbers will hopefully result in a lot more cycle paths around and, you know, just making the roads much more safer.
There's not many cycle paths at all. I think I encountered like 2 metres of cycle paths the whole way getting here. But like if you take little back street routes, it's easy enough to get here. But it'd be a lot easier if there was cycle paths. I could just go directly as opposed to going a dodgy route.
And what would you like to see in the future generally in Darlington?
More cycle paths or lanes. The bit that worries me, I mean, we are lucky to have some cycle paths, but they tend to be off the beaten track, certainly where we are.
Between here and Harrogate Hill is quite a busy road, isn't it? North Road. Have you ever cycled down there?
No. I did once about a year ago, and I got halfway down and was like, this is scaring the life out of me, I'm getting off and going home, and just didn't go any further and just won't go back because it's so busy and cars just drive so fast and people are so ignorant all of the time. It's just ridiculous.
And I don't think it's a good thing that we've got to go too far off the beaten track to get onto the cycle track, because then that can be an unsafe place to be.
The other day someone just like decided that they saw me coming and looked at me, and I was so annoyed because they just kept reversing in front of me. I was like, what are you doing? And I just had to stand there and wait for them to. I was thinking I can't do anything about it, they're in a car, I'll die if I go in front of them.
Beauty in the Bike has resulted in girls like Kate and Francesca following in the footsteps of supermodel Agnes Dean to make cycling aspirational and fashionable. But they still seem to report a daily battle with poor infrastructure and inconsiderate motorists. Are we doing enough for girls like Ashley?
You shouldn't be the second-class citizen because you want to ride a bike. You know, why can't you go down there with the traffic? You know, we do that all over Europe wonderfully well. So, you know, why not us?